Your man out of Japan, Jay Contra here, with a video that I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm certainly going to try. We are going to dive into the differences between Japanese and English base set. I've got 9 cards assembled here. We're going to go through them individually, but first I want to talk about the general differences between the cards. You'll notice already that on the left, the English has a solid yellow border to it. On the Japanese, it's kind of gold almost, perhaps goldenrod with some highlights there, as well as the collector number on the English release. This, of course, came out in 1999. The Japanese cards came out in 1996, same year as the Pokemon game did in Japan. You notice the holographic patterns are different, but in general, they're mostly the same. They've got the same attacks. The resistance and retreat costs are placed slightly differently. You see here on the very bottom, you've got the Pokedex entry. Over here, it's on the bottom right. And here you've got the Pokedex entry. You still got the black star for rarity. But over here, it's just the black star for rarity and the collector's number. So on the left, let's take a look at Ninetales itself, the holographic pattern. I would say, oh, that's interesting. So you notice here on the Japanese version, the hologram goes into the Vulpix, goes into the sort of the base there. It's a full square. Whereas for the English, the holographic pattern is only going along that edge there. I didn't notice that before. So that's one difference. I'm trying to see if there are any others. You can actually tell from the holographic pattern, there's sort of a black pattern here on the Japanese. It's much more swirly there. And actually look at those beautiful, I for one think that Japanese Pokemon cards look better than the English, and this is partly why. Look at that holographic pattern there. You can even see it on my phone. Whereas here there's sparkles, different ones though, a little bit more bursty. You see there, a little bit more star. You've got kind of the star edges bursting out there. Not so here. They're kind of more like blobs almost, but that's fine. I think it just looks so much better on the Japanese. But all right, so we looked at Ninetales. Let's look at Zapdos. The cards on the left, by the way, are my original ones that I had when I was like 7 years old or whatever. And yeah, they did not hold up. But look at the Zapdos pattern here. Very solid. But then look at here. You see the bursts. And look at that extra reflection. You look at it directly in the light, yeah, you get that sort of basic glare to it. But then look at it when it's like, look at that hologram there. It's like he's flying through space. Zapdos is an alien, confirmed. All right, so that's Zapdos. Let's look at Mewtwo. I think we're going to see this similar pattern with Mewtwo, I want to say. Because if you look at the English card, the Wizards of the Coast card on the left, it's like you barely see any stars there. You barely see anything. Like when if you're looking at it off directly, if you're looking at not directly, yeah, okay, it looks like it's got a good pattern. No, look at that. Look at that swirl. That's what I want to see. The colors actually look not dissimilar. I'd say the one on the left has a little bit more, it's a little bit more brighter, because on the right you get there's darker tones in the Mewtwo on the right in the Japanese version. But just for Mewtwo for comparison, again, you get the Pokedex number and the star on the bottom right. The collector's number on the bottom right with the star. Do I have the 2000? No, this is not the base set 2000. I don't actually. I might have it here. I might not. One of the key differences, I unfortunately don't have any English first edition cards. However, in Japanese, I might not have it in this binder. No, actually, so on English cards, you know, of course, if I had any, there would be a first edition symbol right here, but I don't have any first edition, so I can't show it to you. Well, on the Japanese, there is a first edition Japanese base set, sort of. It's not officially recognized. It was not published as such. But on Japanese base set cards that do not have, so if we, let's pretend it's not there. Let's pretend the black diamond is not there. That would mean this card was the first print run of the Japanese base set. For whatever reason, Japanese base set first edition did not have a rarity symbol in the bottom right corner, and all subsequent print runs did. It's been sort of backed up by promotional material, but it's not officially recognized. However, if you do find one of those cards, they can be worth quite a bit of money if they are in good condition. The ones I have are not in good condition, so they're not worth that much. Going over to Dugong, let's look at the colors. A little bit more. I like that the colors seem a bit more deeper on the Japanese card, if I'm going to be honest. And actually, look at the placing here. Is that, yeah, it's a little bit different. The proportions are a little bit different. So you notice on the Japanese, the base Pokemon here is a little bit raised. It's a little bit larger. It's a little bit expanded. You can see the image is actually this powwow. I'm trying to remember. Can't remember the English names right now. But you can see here, it's a little bit smaller there on the left, larger on the right. The colors are definitely different. You can kind of tell from the iceberg. I don't know. The Japanese just looks better to me. I'm spitting hot fire here. Let's go over to Growlithe. What do we see here? We've got, they look about the same. I'll be honest. When we get to the base, when we get to the basic Pokemon, not much difference. You can kind of tell there's a little bit of difference. Are the card frames bigger? Yeah, it looks like actually the card frames are bigger. I don't think, no, I have one Shadowless. I have a Shadowless Magikarp for some reason. But you can tell here with the Japanese, you've got the drop shadow, as you did with the subsequent print runs of the WotC base set. The HP, why did they make the HP red? Why did they do that? I don't get it. You've also got the levels here. I don't see that with any of the other Pokemon. No, for some reason, and actually in a lot of Japanese sets, how you can sort of organize your Pokemon cards, especially when you get to like Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge in Japanese, you got to pay attention to the levels, because that will actually determine things like rarity, especially when you're looking at the theme decks, which did not have rarities printed on the cards that were included in those theme decks. So that's an interesting difference. I didn't notice that. You've got the red HP as well. You've also got the inclusion of, it's letting you know it's a basic Pokemon in Japanese. I guess they just assumed that you would know that anyways. Yeah, so that's Growlithe. Let's look at Dratini. Anything different with the Dratini? Who drew Dratini? Is that Sugimori? That is indeed Sugimori. Looking at the colors, the print is definitely different. They use different, I don't know if it's different inks, if it's different, I don't know if they put this through Photoshop or something. Whatever the 1999 equivalent of Photoshop was. I don't know if it was out at the time. It probably was. But you can tell the colors are definitely different. And because I'm an insufferable weeaboo, I will err on the side of the Japanese, even though they're not that different. And then looking at the trainer cards, that looks exactly the same. Looking at it now, yeah, even the colors are the same. So that's strange to me that the Pokemon colors would be slightly different. And actually, I didn't get a good look. So we looked at the non-holographic colors. Those are definitely different. I want to look back at Ninetales, and I want to see if the coloration, the holographic pattern is definitely different. Yeah, no, darker colors on the Japanese release. But let's see. So that's the 3D. Let's see a trainer card. I'm having a hard time telling the difference in colors. So that's really weird to me, even though I would expect the 3D images to be sort of similar in terms of their color pattern or the color tone. But look at the colors here. They're exactly the same, even though they're anime. Yeah, I don't really see a difference in the colors. And again, with the trainer, same text, same font, slightly darker color for the trainer background there. Interesting, very interesting. Now this is the full heal. This is going to be it. Is there any difference between the two full heals? Different colors. Notice the different background colors. I don't know why the Japanese is sort of a more yellowish green than this bluish green here. There's that difference, but otherwise, I don't think the full heals a little bit different. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know what Wizards of the Coast was doing when they were transferring the Japanese images over to the English. But there are some differences. So it's not just, I think, the superficial differences between the yellow border, the HP being different. You've got the collector's number versus the Pokedex number. You've got the way that the bottom's arranged. Because, when you're typing out English, you're going to have different space to work with in a textual manner than you do the Japanese. But yeah, let's do a better comparison. Let's do between the Dratini and the Japanese Dratini versus the English Dratini. The colors are different. It's not just the borders, the frames. It's also the color of the pictures themselves. Tell me which one you like more. Because to me, I'm going with the Japanese, but that's just me. Because it's got, I think the colors are a little bit washed out on the English base set versus the Japanese base set. That's just what my eyes are seeing. Your eyes may be seeing something completely different. And actually, I can't wait to jump into Jungle to see what that looks like. But that's a topic for another video. I've been your man out of Japan, Jay Contra. Thanks for watching, and mahalo.